Okay, so if you have not watched the pricing overview video, give it a quick watch so that the overall pricing concepts are understood. Given that you have, I wanted to review with you the structure of the current template catalog that you have in your system for the master custom catalog or the custom cabinet catalog. What is in here is it is broken out by the carcass or the box, then the door, then drawer box, etc. So the first four sections of formula you can see here are kind of just going to say, look at the construction type pricing ID. So if you move over here, so construction type, I have another tab open here with construction type product attribute open, and what it's looking at is the pricing ID right here. And so what it's saying is what is the construction type pricing ID? If it's a 1, then apply this pricing, and if it's a 2, or if not, then 0. So if it's not a 1, this whole section of formula will spit out a 0. And then it's going to come down to the second section of formula, and it's going to say, is it a 2? And in this instance, it is set as a 2. Then it will take off on adding up all of the parts. So you can see this method is a cost plus a margin method. Then it will say, okay, it'll sum up whatever that is. Because it's true, it would spit out a value. And then it will come down here to the third one and say, is it a number 3? And where it's not, then it's going to spit out a 0. So it's really just a bunch of if-then statements. The first four sections of formula are based around the box. Then you can see it comes to door and drawer fronts. A 1 indicates a square foot, and a 2 indicates a cost plus a margin. So on your door attribute, for example, in drawer fronts, if your door type pricing ID is equal to 1, then it's going to apply this section of formula. If it is not a 1, it will 0, and it will come down to the next. So in your door type drop-down menus, you could have one door be pricing on a square foot method, and another door be pricing on a cost plus margin method. And then it goes down to the drawer and rollout, the drawer slides, the hinges and plates, the knobs and pulls, the accessories, and assembly, installation, and leg levelers. So in this way, as you've gone down through and you have looked at what methods are being applied, you can see the importance of going into each one of the drop-down menus for the product attributes and making sure that you've assigned properly the IDs so that when a given attribute is chosen, that it applies the right pricing formula. I want to also make note that the formulas are using two things. They're using either parts, and you can go to the parts section to see how parts are built, but all of those variables can be used in the pricing, and it's also using the product variables, which we just talked about, which are the columns on the product attributes. So construction type dot pricing ID. So those are the variables that can be chose from, and you can also use some functions like ceiling or floor, or if you wanted to round up. These sections of formula have been utilized amongst varied feedback and have been tested and proven, and we've tried to include as much as we can. You are allowed to go and change these formulas if you need to because they're not inclusive enough to price the way you want. I would warn against deleting some of them without maybe a quick inquiry, but you can add additional formula sections, etc. Hopefully these templates have given you a really good starting point.